The first-class cabin of Atlantic Airways Flight 107 was a sanctuary of hushed tones and soft leather. Liam Patel settled into the spacious embrace of Seat 1A, appreciated the quiet. He scrolled through financial reports on his tablet, his hoodie and faded jeans, a stark contrast to the polished wood and starched uniforms around him. He'd learned long ago that true comfort had nothing to do with a price tag. The illusion of peace was shattered by a voice dripping with saccharine condescension. "Excuse me, sir. I think you may be a bit turned around." Liam looked up into the professionally cool smile of a flight attendant, her name tag reading Chloe Davis. "I'm sorry," Liam replied, his tone neutral. "This is the first-class section," she explained as if to a child. "Economy is back through that curtain. You'll need to return to your assigned seat." A flicker of annoyance, quickly suppressed. Liam held up his boarding pass. "I'm in the right place." "Seat 1A." Chloe's smile didn't waver, but her eyes hardened. She barely glanced at the pass. "There must be some mistake. These documents can be altered. We need to keep these seats clear for our confirmed first-class passengers." From across the aisle, an elderly man in 2A, Mr. Henderson, sniffed with disapproval. "Quite right. Standards must be maintained." The injustice of the moment began to draw attention. A low hum of whispers started. Then a phone was raised. "Hey everyone, Truth Tracker here, live from Atlantic Airways 107. Looks like we've got a situation up front." A young man was streaming the entire encounter, his voice an excited whisper. "My documents are not altered," Liam said, his voice still calm. He produced his Platinum Elite status card. "I'm a frequent flyer." "You can verify this." Chloe dismissed the card with a wave of her hand. "I'm going to need you to gather your things and come with me, now." When Liam didn't move, her patience vanished. "Captain Reynolds to the first-class cabin, please." The captain, Mark Reynolds, arrived with an air of impatience. He listened to Chloe's skewed summary, not even looking at Liam's offered documents. "Sir, I have a schedule to keep. I'm going to have to ask you to comply with my crew's instructions, or I will have you removed." The word "removed" hung in the air. 2 airport security officers arrived, a veteran, Franklin Miller, and his younger partner, Elena Garcia. Franklin took Liam's boarding pass, scrutinizing it with a practiced eye. He looked from the pass to Liam's calm face, then to the flustered airline staff. "This pass is legitimate," Franklin stated flatly. But the airline's arrogance was a runaway train. The ground supervisor, Linda Campbell, bustled in, her face a mask of bureaucratic resolve. After a hushed, tense conversation with the captain and Chloe, she turned to Liam. "Mr. Patel, we've decided it's best if you deplane voluntarily. We can reaccommodate you in our economy section on the next flight as a gesture of goodwill." Liam finally stood. The cabin fell silent, every eye on him. He didn't look angry. He looked resolved. He had been quietly documenting everything, sending brief texts. A woman in seat 3B, Dr. Isabel Reyes, spoke up. "This is outrageous. He's done nothing wrong. Can't you see how calmly he's handling this?" Liam gave her a small, grateful nod. Then he reached into his back pocket. He didn't pull out a weapon or more documents. He pulled out a simple, elegant business card case. He extracted a single card and handed it to Linda Campbell. Her eyes scanned it. Her face, once flushed with self-righteousness, turned a sickly gray. The card read, "Liam Patel, Chief Executive Officer, Palace Global." The name Palace Global was a thunderclap. A multi-billion-dollar private equity firm, a silent titan in countless industries. "My company," Liam said, his voice now carrying a quiet, cutting authority that filled the cabin, "holds a 23% stake in Atlantic Airways. We are your second-largest shareholder. We spend over $1.2 million a year with this airline." And perhaps most ironically, the Patel Foundation, which I chair, donated $500,000 last year to fund your company's now evidently failed diversity and inclusion initiative. The live stream from our Truth Tracker was now exploding. The hashtag Atlantic Airways scandal began trending globally. The airline stock price began a precipitous plunge. Liam then did something that sealed their fate. He dialed a number on his phone and put it on speaker. Eleanor Vance, a crisp voice answered. "Eleanor, it's Liam Patel. I'm on Flight 107. I'm afraid we have a situation that requires the full board's immediate attention. And I insist this conversation be public." The gasp from Linda Campbell was audible. Eleanor Vance was the CEO of Atlantic Airways. Over the speakerphone, with a plane full of passengers and a growing online audience as witnesses, Liam laid out the facts. He then presented his non-negotiable terms, not as a request, but as a shareholder directive: the immediate termination of Chloe Davis and Captain Mark Reynolds. Mandatory, comprehensive bias training for all customer-facing staff, to be completed within 30 days. A third-party, anonymous reporting system for discrimination. The establishment of a $500,000 diversity and inclusion fund managed by an external board. A full, public apology from the airline. Tying 20% of all executive bonuses, starting with Eleanor's, directly to measurable diversity metrics. Facing a stock market freefall and utter reputational annihilation, Eleanor Vance and the board had no choice. They agreed to every single demand, with a strict 72-hour implementation deadline. Epilogue. The ripple effect. 2 years later, the incident on Flight 107 was no longer a scandal. It was a case study in stakeholder activism. Liam Patel, now a respected figure in corporate ethics, stood at the podium of a major civil rights summit. Change, he told the audience, does not happen through good intentions. It happens through accountability, through leverage, and through the unwavering demand for dignity. He detailed the reforms at Atlantic Airways, which had become an industry leader in inclusion. The Atlantic Airways rules had inspired new federal regulations protecting air travelers from discrimination. As he finished his speech, a woman stood up during the Q&A. It was Chloe Davis. The audience tensed. "Mr. Patel," she began, her voice clear but emotional. "2 years ago, you had every right to destroy me. Instead, you forced me to confront a prejudice I didn't even know I carried. Losing my job was the most painful, but most necessary lesson of my life. I now work as a diversity and inclusion consultant, helping other companies avoid the catastrophic mistake I made. So, thank you. Thank you for your ruthlessness. It taught me humanity." Liam nodded, a genuine smile touching his lips. The true victory was not in the corporate reforms or the stock price recovery. It was in the quiet guarantee that a future passenger, regardless of how they looked or what they wore, would never have to endure such humiliation again. The system had been broken, and one man's quiet dignity had forced it to be rebuilt. Better and stronger for everyone. Better and stronger for everyone.